There's no doubt that the instinct to create art of any kind is born in many circumstances, in many places, and from many things. It absolutely comes from healthy, positive, thrilled to be alive places in the human heart and in the human psyche. Songs, stories, paintings, dances come from wonderment, joy, peace, bliss, awe, and excitement. But we'll leave that celebratory truth for another day. For the moment, I'm going to explore the creation of art from a different angle. I want you to picture a glowing green circle, and we'll call that circle the mind. On either side of that circle, I want you to imagine a vertical dotted line. Let's call these lines broken lines, lines through which it's easy to pass or to fall. Now, beyond those two vertical broken lines is the space of domestic reality. I'm calling it domestic reality, but it could be any kind of reality: societal reality, educational reality, national reality, world reality, even your own health, any realm in which things can be harsh. Now, to your left, behind the broken line, I want you to picture a very young child. That child is in the space of domestic reality, in the real space, worldly space, on the ground. But it's a well-known psychological truth that if in that domestic reality, the child experiences extreme stress, trauma, negation, disempowerment, neglect, blame, entrapment, invisibility, the child will detach from domestic reality and take refuge in the mind. The mind becomes this interior realm of self-soothing, an escape, a place of magical thinking to compensate for the heavy-handedness specific to their real life. I'd like you to imagine that child as an adult, to your right, beyond the broken line. And if that adult experiences extreme stress, trauma, negation, disempowerment, neglect, blame, entrapment, invisibility, the coping mechanisms developed in childhood are already there, and chances are she will take refuge in the place where she felt safest as a child, in the mind. The adult, just as the child did, will disconnect from reality. Only it won't be innocent magical thinking anymore. It will be possibly narcissism, limerence, obsession, addictive fantasy, compulsive thinking, a stronger belief in the imagined than in the real. This is standard knowledge, and it's knowledge I accept and I understand. What I'm showing you here is a well-accepted pattern, and to reiterate, I know it exists. What I'm interested in exploring is how creativity and the creation of art change the alchemy of this pattern. What happens when art is thrown into this dysfunctional mix? Let's return to the glowing green circle, and we'll change the word mind to imagination. And let's suppose the young child, or the adult she becomes, or any of her versions in between take refuge in the mind, but also in the imagination. And let's suppose the child or the adult begins to create something in that interior refuge. Something fantastical like a painting, a song, or a story. And with the story, let's say she learns to convert that internal world into a realm where narcissism becomes omniscience, where muses become characters, where places denied her become settings, and people she can't have become heroes and heroines, where all the emotions she's bottled up to self-protect from others can flood freely into her characters. If the writer can churn that interior world into a story, not only does the writer allow herself catharsis, then she can hand her cathartic world to the reader. And the reader in turn can take refuge from their stresses and their traumas in that very same world. What could have been so damaging has transformed into a gift from the writer to the reader. And by way of this disconnect from reality, the writer from her domestic reality and the reader from their domestic reality, they're able to meet on the page, and for that time, neither one of them is alone. The relationship between the writer and the reader is a fascinating one, with all kinds of factors and nuances, and this is something I'm going to be exploring down the road in the mind of the writer. But for now, I want you to think about the dynamic I've just described. The child and the adult escaping from domestic reality into the mind, and how that dynamic can change if that child and that adult can harness the resulting emotions and behaviors into a story, a fictional refuge for others.